The BallyHoop changed the game. You made the first collapsible hoop net. Tell me about it. Where did the idea come from? How did it start?
So I called that customer back that brought me that net and said, hey, listen, I need you to try something out. And sure as a week later, I came back, this is awesome. It was great. I had a lot of people buying it, but I still had those people that would come by and say, yeah, you know what, it's great, man, but it's still too big for my boat. Endless nights after nights and thinking and trying different materials and putting them out to the sun, putting them out to the elements. So there's a lot of science to it when you get to it. Man.
Science of fishing, man. I was going to ask, deep dropping?
Deep dropping.
In like 800 feet of water?
800 feet of water. People ask me, wow. Nobody's ever thought of that.
No one's ever done that.
I'll see something and I'll see how I can make it better. So everything is done by hand and it's done here. So a lot of people ask, why is this so expensive?
You've landed on the science of fishing, where passion meets precision. Before we dive in, we would like to thank Bloody Battery, Sea Mule, and Black Reef Co. for sponsoring this episode.
What's going on, everybody? Mark here with CCO's The Science of Fishing. I'm here today with Junior from BallyHoop. We're going to talk all things BallyHoop, where the idea came from, and how Junior's constantly innovating and changing the game. How you doing, Junior?
I'm doing good, Mark. And you?
Good, man. Good. I'm glad to have you here. It's a pleasure to have you and have all this product here. It's pretty incredible, man.
Likewise, man. I really appreciate you having the opportunity to, bring me on the show.
Absolutely. Man, I've heard about BallyHoop for years now, and I've never owned one, but now I do, thanks to you. I appreciate that. So the BallyHoop changed the game. You made the first collapsible hoop net, and then you've been just innovating from there. As we can see, there's so much product. Tell me about it. Where did the idea come from? How did it start? And what inspired you to keep going and doing this?
Well, it all started in my backyard. All of a sudden, I had a customer walking through the door one day with a BallyHoop, not a BallyHoop, but just a hoop net. And I was fixing cast nets at the time. And he asked, hey, you think you can fix this ball? And I said, yeah, no problem. Brought it in and we actually fixed it. And then I said, you know what? This is pretty cool. I went out, I tried it myself. It was a fiberglass ring at the time. I said, well, you know what? I need to make something different. And that's where the idea popped up of the stainless steel model.
Okay.
It was a thinner, much thinner diameter rod versus what I was using at the time, which was half-inch fiberglass. And I said, you know what? I went back to the drawing boards and I went and I grabbed myself some stainless steel rods and I created one. Went out and used it. Everything worked out beautiful, the buoyancy, everything. So I called that customer back that brought me that net and said, hey, listen, I need you to try something out and tell me how it works. And I gave it to him. Sure as a week later, I came back, this is awesome. So much better than one I had. I said, hey, congrats, it's yours, keep it. So that's where the idea started, and that's when I started making them, and I started making them in stainless. So I started going to the shows, putting it out at the shows. And every time I would go to a different show, I would get, people saying, oh yeah, it's great, it works, I've used them before, it's a great thing, but it's too big. It's too big. How do I keep this on my boat? And I understand it's a 4-foot surface, so it's pretty big.
Yeah.
So the idea started to emerge, and I said, you know what? I got to make something different here. That's where the aluminum model came in.
This one right here, right?
Which was in 2017 when I released this at the Miami International Boat Show. This was a hit.
Yeah.
Everybody was all over it. Everybody. That same year, I took it to a nautical flea market, Founders Key in Key Largo. Founders Park, that's what it's called. And a lady approached me and says, hey, I don't know, and I don't care what's in the back, but I want one of these. I see everybody walking around with it. I was like, hilarious. I'm like, wow. So the lady decided that I gave her one of the bags. She said, you can have a bag, it's no problem. She walked away with a bag. It's ecstatic. So that's where this came from, and it came from the fiberglass. What I did was I cut the aluminum in half. So now it's a half-moon circle, and I'll put it together, it creates a 4-foot circle.
Okay.
So it was great. I had a lot of people buying it, but I still had those people that would come by and say, yeah, you know what, it's great, man, but it's still too big for my boat. I got a 25-foot boat. It's a center console. This is going to be in the way. I said, well, I have something to think about for next year. And sure as hell, the following year came through, and I came out with the stealth model, which was the second version.
Okay.
Which was the polycarbonate at the time. The rods were translucent, but they were like 3/8 thick. So they were pretty big, and it was like 6 foot long. And I got that. I brought it out. Everybody loved it. Everybody was all over it too. But continue to get the same feedback from people. There was always somebody that wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. I love it, but it's too long.
It's that model right here, right?
That model right there, correct. Which I sold that. I sold a lot of those units as well. And a lot of people were happy with it. But after a while, I would get the same feedback because I would go show to show, Miami International Boat Show, all the nautical flea markets, all over the stores had them too. But you would have that extra, customers say, it's still too big or it's too long now. Can't, we need something smaller. I said, okay. That's the third year. So in 2019, that was 17, 18, 19, I came out with the Flex model. I released it. I released that at ICAST. That was a total hit at ICAST. And you know what? As a matter of fact, the release was at ICAST.
Of this one.
And that's where it all took off. And the BallyHoop name came in. I approached several stores when I came out with this model. And the stores were like, yeah, we like it. But because I started it off with another name, it was Pure Bait and Tackle at the time.
Right.
And that's where the name emerged. And that's where the BallyHoop came, because none of the stores wanted to stock it. And I also own a full-blown tackle store. It's called Pure's Tackle.
Right.
And so I changed the name and I released it at ICAST in 2017 with my first patent, which took me almost over a year and a half to get.
Yeah.
And I released it there, and that's when it started getting off and taking off. And then in the second year, 2018, I came out with the Stealth model, which is that one.
Okay.
Which was the one that was the 3/8 rods.
Right.
And that was a hit too. Everybody loved it because now it wasn't a half-moon circle. It wasn't that big. But now it's too long. Wow. Okay. So here comes 2020. I go back to ICAST and I release Flex, which is out, which is now 24 inches in circumference. So it's half the size of this one.
Wow.
It's that long. People loved it. People were like, "Oh man, this is great. I love it." My sales went through the roof.
It's great, man. It's small.
Yeah, on that model, it went through the roof. But then I still had those guys in the 22-foot boats with the bay boats because they use it in the bay as well.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, what am I going to do now? So back to the drawing boards. People have no idea what it took me to get where I am.
Right.
It's endless nights after nights, and thinking and trying different materials and putting them out to the sun, putting them out to the elements, breaking them, putting them out in the water, see how the bait reacts.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of science to it when you get to it.
The science of fishing, man.
And trust me, you'll be surprised with just the color or a thickness of a rope or this kind of material. That kind of can just persuade the bait to go elsewhere, and it's got a lot of science to it. So the following year in 2021 is when I went back to ICAST again and I released this guy.
The Blade.
This one is on a level of its own.
Yeah.
So now this one is called the Blade because the frame itself is like a blade. It's not round anymore. All of these are round cylinder piping,
right,
or rods.
Yeah.
So this one is actually a blade, and it collapses from 48 inches to 18 inches. Wow, which is a big difference.
Yeah.
Now everybody's happy. But now they're complaining because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
I said, well, you guys better do this. So released this in 2022, 2021 at the Miami International Boat Show before I released it at ICAST, and then I took it to the Miami Boat Show, and it was total success.
In front of me, I have the Flushmaster by Seamule. This little device simplifies the process for flushing your engines. All it takes is 3 easy steps. Plug the hose into the device, plug the hoses from the device into your motors, and press on. That's all it takes to preserve the longevity of your motors, ensuring 100% clean water is running through them. So if you want to preserve your motors, go to seamule.com and go pick up a Flushmaster. Then we got a few other things over here, right?
Yeah, these came along with that. This was the chumming loop. So I came out with this in 2021. I released this. So what was the major problem we're having on the boats is the chum.
Stinky bags, man.
Stinky bags, throw them away, get another one. Throw them away, get another one. Every time you go out, you had to get a brand new bag.
Right.
So it gets expensive. These guys, they're not cheap. They're $100 a piece. You got to get a 7-pound block of chum in there, or you can get the 25-pound block of chum in here. So they're made out of silicone, rubber silicone. So nothing sticks to it. So they're always clean.
No more stinky.
No more stinking. No more, I have to leave my my chum bag hanging outside the boat so the fish can eat it.
Yeah.
None of that. So you just take it out. Once you're done, you rinse it out and you're done. So these guys came in and people have loved them. I've sold a lot of these things. Now that these guys came out, which are the chum bomb and the bobber. So when I started at the beginning, we would put out the BallyHoop, and sometimes there was no current those days.
Got to put a water bottle.
what would happen? You would sink. Who came up with the water bottle? My goodness. So I tell you, you know what? Attach a water bottle to the frame of it, and this is what it's going to do. And that's why you see a lot of my videos all over YouTube and social media. You'll see people hanging, water bottles on it. Everybody asking, what's the water bottle for? So the water bottle is to keep it afloat.
Right.
Basically. So you'll have those days when you go out there and there's no current at all. What happens? It goes straight down.
Yeah.
It works really good when you're trying to catch speedos, cigar minnows, white baits that are usually typically under the boat, not on the surface that much. It works really good. But you're not going to have those 2 days. You're not going to have no current and a bait. No. You're either going to have current or ballyhoo, or you're not going to have cigar. But you have to have the water bottle. So that's when this emerged. It's called the BallyHoop Bobber. So you see it right there? It says the BallyHoop Bobber.
Yep.
So what you do is you open it up, and this is for water. You add water to it to make it more buoyant or less buoyant. So when you see on the videos that I'm on, that I have on Instagram, and you see people putting the net, as they get closer, it starts to come out of the water.
Yeah.
That's because it needs weight. So when you add this to the frame, you add water to it, it keeps the mouth of the net completely underwater till it practically gets right next to the boat. What happens is you get more bait.
Right.
So this not only serves as a floater, it serves as a weight. If you don't need it, if you have current, there's no need to use it. A lot of people have gotten accustomed to using it, and what they do is they do the water bottle or they use the bobber and they use it all the time. It's fine. It's just going to create a little bit more drag. Okay? Then you have this guy.
The chum bomb.
Chum bomb. Yes. So this one,
The secret sauce,
this
man.
one has different applications that we use it for. So I've used it to deep drop. What do? So I created this rubber silicone pad, and it has holes on the bottom there. And as you notice, it has bigger holes on the top.
Yeah.
It also has a lid. Obviously, you want to be able to access it to be able to put in the chum.
Right.
There's a lot of the dry stuff. Water nutrition chum works really good with my product. So another thing I would do is when I go deep dropping, I'll put pellets in.
I was going to ask, deep dropping?
Deep dropping.
In like 800 feet of water?
800 feet of water. People ask me, wow. Nobody's ever thought of that.
No one's ever done that.
Okay. Yeah, well. So what I'll do is I created this silicone pad, and this is going to allow me to actually sit this on the table, grab some water if I wanted to, put it in here, and it's not going to leak. So you're not making a mess.
Right.
So what I would do is I put the fish pellets in there, add man oil, close it up, and I freeze it, and I leave it there. Following day, I'll do 4 or 5 of these little balls, like a chum ball. Remember, you do the little chum ball and you would throw it. It would disintegrate before you hit the bottom.
Right.
You don't have to worry about that. You can use this on your mutton rig. Do the same thing. Right, so put it in here. If you want to plow it out regular term and chum, double grind it, you saw it out, put it in here, and get 4 or 5 of these little balls and put them away, put them in the freezer. So now you have them. You do your chicken rig. You put this on your chicken rig, drop it down to the bottom. Yes, it is going to create some drag. It is going to create, who cares? You got 32 ounces of that. What is this going to do?
Yeah.
So when I do it on my deep drop, I'll attach it to where I put my light on. I'll attach it right to the light on the top. So now I'm chumming right where? Right next to my hooks.
Wow.
I have had sharks come and eat it. I've had sharks come and eat my rig, but they're you know how that is.
Yes.
And that's going to happen no matter what you do. So
yeah,
basically this one here is, and the main uses that I use it for is for my BallyHoop. So what do? Right where the swivel is in the center of the BallyHoop, I'll hang it with this clip. So this is basically a snap swivel, and I'll snap it on there. I'll take this out, and now it's vertically sitting in the water with the BallyHoop right in the center. So what is it doing? It's chumming right in front of my net. Where's the bait going to come to?
In front of your net?
In front of my net.
Wow.
That's where the idea. And how did I get this idea? Aquatic Nutrition has their little chum pellets in a little yellow bat full of holes. I attached that to the rope, like 6-7 feet in front of the net, and I would jerk on it, and they would come right in front of it. I said, whoa, good idea. So that's where this guy emerged. The chum.
I like it, man.
So, and I only use it for my net. I use it for deep dropping. I use it for the mutton rigs.
Yes.
For people who just want to chum on the bottom and they don't want to throw a cage down there or chum back on the surface, add the chum in there, fill it all up, drop it down on a separate rod if you want, and leave it down there. Now you don't have to worry about that bomb just
going everywhere.
No, and it's going to go like the chum balls that we would make and throw them in the water that would just disintegrate before we didn't have the water.
Yeah.
In this case, it's not going to happen. Wow. It's going to, the water is, if you notice, it has bigger holes down here on the top part, and it's got smaller holes on the bottom. So the water pushes through here with the current, and where does it chunk off?
The smaller holes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
So your chum is going to last longer too.
It's gonna last longer. Yeah, this is more to attract the fish when you're fishing on the bottom. It's to you're gonna attract them by smell.
Right.
That's what you want to do, And basically that's what the chum bomb does. So it's got different applications for it.
I like it, man.
We can use that. We can use that for the deep drop. We can use it for our mine rigs, and we can use that for the bottom.
So it's very versatile.
Very versatile. Yeah.
So you have all these ideas in your head.
Well, I have more coming.
Can you tell us?
No, they're top secret. But yes, I have more stuff coming to the Miami International Boat Show.
So how do you innovate? What goes through your mind, man? Are you smoking a joint and like?
I don't do drugs, but yeah, my wife says I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and say, "Hey, come on, I got an idea." And she said, "What? Go to bed.
Yeah.
Go to bed. You're gonna go bananas." Yeah, I'll see something and I'll see how I can make it better. And that's how this emerged.
Yeah.
This emerged from all the dirty chum bags and all that stuff. I need to make something that people don't have to worry about cleaning. Right. Something that's going to, last and it's not going to break.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of them break on you, and I've had rats eat through them because people leave them with the smell and they'll put it in the shed and rats come in and eat it. It's just normal stuff. But besides that, everything has been great. I love it. It keeps the boat clean.
Yeah.
You grab it. By the EVAs, it floats because these are floats. So you pick it up and it falls right into a bucket, out of frame of the bucket. So your chum is in there. You don't make a mess. Keeps everything nice and clean. That's very important because if not, the mess is
horrendous.
Yes.
So how did you get into fishing? Let's talk way back before any of this.
I fished all my lives since I was a little kid. Yeah. Since I was a little kid, and I've always, I've been innovative. I've always been thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't reinvent the wheel.
Right.
I didn't invent the wheel, but I redesigned and made something that nobody ever thought of. And this has been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
I had a customer approach me at one of the shows one time. Guy was from Hawaii, and he was talking to me about his ancestors and says, that's a pretty cool net you have there. Do you know how these things came about when they were first made? And he was explaining to me how they would use the whale bones. Okay, and they would tie them together, put a bag on the back of it, sock, and that's how they would use it to catch bait.
Really? Whale bones?
Whale bones. So think about it. Lures. They used to make lures out of the whale bones, and they would put to it. Like we have now spoons.
Yeah.
They would make something like that. He showed me. He actually had about whale bone.
Wow.
Back in his from these creativity.
So, yeah.
Making it happen.
Ingenuity. And humans have evolved, man.
Mm-hmm.
The science. Yeah.
It's fishing for sure.
For those of you that don't know what this right here is a turtle box. A turtle box is a marine grade speaker. It's the best one on the market, y'all. If you guys want to go get one, check the link in the description. I always use it anytime I'm out there on the water. Whether I'm at the beach, whether I'm fishing, wherever I am, this always comes with me. I love listening to the music, and the sound quality and audio is the best out there. Forget all the other brands. You need a turtle box. So you've always been into fishing, but you didn't always fish. You weren't always, you didn't always own BallyHoop. You were in construction, right?
I was in construction. Oh, yeah. I was in a construction company. I owned a construction company for 17 years.
Wow.
And then one day I just woke up and said, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. My son was born, and it's funny because I go play the lotto at a gas station with my son. I was carrying him, and my wife was in the car. And I looked across the street of where the shop is now, Purist Bait and Tackle, and there was a shop for sale, mechanic shop. I've always been very handy.
Yeah.
I said to my wife, that might be something that we might be interested in. And sure as hell, 15 years later, I was a technician for 15 years. Coming out of a construction field, went into the technician, so I was a mechanic.
Yeah.
And I was there for 15 years. That's where Purist Bait and Tackle emerged.
Right.
Which the store next to me came vacant. And I told the wife, you know what? I'm getting tired of this mechanic stuff already. It's time to change.
Yeah.
And I fished all my life, So I said, you know what? We're going to put a bait and tackle store. And that's what Purist Bait and Tackle emerged.
And that's where it's at now.
And this is what emerged from there.
Right.
Seeing people trying to catch bait, going through a lot of trouble. A lot of people can't cast a net. Nets are good. Don't get me wrong. Cast nets are really good for white baits. You can get certain baits. I mean, there's certain baits that you're not going to catch them. I don't care who you are or what you do or how good you are.
Yeah.
And we do catch them with this. I mean, I have this worldwide right now. I have a distributor in Australia. I have them in Alaska. I have them in Dubai.
I'm in the Middle East, right?
Yeah,
All over.
Place Egypt.
Yeah, my people, man.
For Egypt, as a matter of fact, he's doing a lot of helping me a lot. He's doing a lot of videos over there. I'm sending him some stuff. But once it gets international, it's tough because the shipping and this and that. But I've gotten it to places that I don't even know where they're at, to be quite honest with you. So
Yeah.
social media has done a lot,
Right.
a lot, and it's traveled a long way. And my goal is to be able to, do the world. So everybody, because this is something that can be used pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Water, salt water. I have people catching emerald shiners. I have people catching smelts in Canada, gobs in South Africa.
Wow.
I have videos on my Instagram in Pakistan, in the Middle East, using it to catch bait there. Dubai. I mean, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
All over the place.
That's incredible, man. So BallyHoop is worldwide. And
It's worldwide.
and you're not just local in terms of where you sell them. It's not just online in South Florida. You're in Bass Pro.
Yeah, we're in Bass Pro Shop. We're at 13 Bass Pro Shop stores. We are in all mom and pop stores all the way on the Panhandle and all through the United States.
That's incredible, man.
We have around approximately 65 stores.
Wow.
Right.
So you have a big distribution chain that you have to take care of.
Yes, we do.
Good for you, man.
And we all manufacture this here.
Yeah.
So I bring product from overseas, materials, and then we assemble everything here. So everything is done by hand and it's done here. So a lot of people ask, why is it so expensive? Why is it so expensive? Because everything is done in the States, guys. And we assemble every single one of these things by hand.
You stand by your product.
And I stand by my product. We've got a 5-star reviews and it's not for any reason.
Yeah.
We listen to our consumers. Anything that has to be done, we do it.
Right.
We go that extra mile.
I mean, clearly you've went from this to this to this to this. You've been able to adapt and listen.
5 years in the making of all of this, and it's taken me hundreds and hundreds of hours. And a lot of thinking. Yeah, a lot of thinking and a lot of prototyping and testing and going back and
Thank God it's paid off, man.
and doing it again and doing it over again and endless nights and sleepless nights. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough.
So is there anything, what's the craziest thing that's been caught inside of a BallyHoop?
I have it on video. I caught a bonita.
A bonita?
But yes.
How did that
I have it
happen?
on video, and the reason why I say that, bonita, because my buddy was next to me. He's like, if I wasn't here and you told me that, I told you you're a liar. I said, no, well, listen, thank God it's on video. It's on one of my, I think, Instagram videos.
Yeah.
I've caught rainbow runners. I've had customers catching sharks. I have kid catching a nurse shark on his dock.
Right.
And his mom was like, what are you doing? Next thing I know, she's calling me, hey, my son did this, and this. I can't believe you did that. It's a real problem. Bring it in, we'll replace it for him. So they brought it in and I replaced it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Wow,
I mean, we've had a lot of, encounters with barracudas, so we'll bring it up and it's all full of bait. Guess what?
Cuda's inside.
And now next thing I see is something airborne. And I'm like, wow, how cool, look at that. And I realized when I brought my net in, it was torn to shredded to pieces. It went into the bottom, out to the top. The sharks tear them up. They come in after the bait. You see the big ball of bait coming in there, and they'll just attack it. So it happens, It is what it is.
It's the name of the game, man.
And we stand behind that. I mean, we fix it for the people. We have it right. I mean, it's not worth fixing or it can't be fixed, we'll replace.
Right.
I have a 1-year manufacturer warranty on all my necks, and we stand behind our product. So anything happens, you call us up, we'll make it right.
I got you, man. That's awesome. That's great. It's better than most companies out there. So we appreciate you as the consumer, bro.
We try hard.
So let's talk a little bit about you and fishing, right? What is one of the most memorable fish you've ever caught yourself?
Oh, I've caught a lot of fish, man. I've caught a lot.
I'm sure.
Memorable fish. I mean, we caught a white marlin fishing out of the K-South banks. We were high-speed trolling for a while.
Okay.
And we ended up catching the white marlin that day.
What happened? Talk to me about it. What was going on? What was the plan?
Very simple. We were catching all of a sudden we see something coming out of the water just with a big bill, and that wobbler's got a big bill.
Yeah.
So we bring it in and we know it's a marlin. We were so we got him and put him on the boat. We were taking care of him. We took pictures and we just put him back in the water and release him. And then we just sit down and look at each other like, what did we just do? I said, no, we just released them.
Yeah.
It's a marlin. It's not a walleye. We're not here to catch a marlin.
Right.
Well, we find out later that that's probably the biggest they grow was what we caught, which is probably maybe 100 pounds. They don't really grow that big.
Yeah.
And they're one of the best eating marlins.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? We did the right thing. We got it though. So we were,
Goes on to live another day.
yeah. We were okay with it. I mean, we've caught a lot of fish. I mean, I've caught Goliaths. I've caught all kinds of fish.
Yeah.
I do a lot of fishing when I get time to.
Right.
When I'm not playing around with this.
Right.
Sometimes I'll get into, using my BallyHoop, and sometimes I'll just like, time flies. You're having fun.
Right.
Because you're having fun when you're doing it. Especially kids and women, they love the product.
Yeah. It's easy to use.
I'll be doing more because now they don't have to catch the bait. They have the kids and the mom do it.
Everybody's involved.
Everybody's involved and everybody's having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of kids. They're on my social media. Hardest part I have is getting people to send me content, believe it or not.
Really?
And I understand. Because everybody's out there doing their thing. They're not, on their phone or trying to record something.
Yeah.
They're there to catch bait. They catch the bait and they go. So that's one of the biggest issues I have is getting people to send me footage.
Yeah.
I have a lot of footage, a lot of content, but if everybody would chip in, it'd be great.
Right.
Great because that keeps me out of the water all the
Well,
time.
we're gonna get you some content with the stuff that you gave us. I appreciate you, man.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Don't worry, I will. So, you're big. You fished all over the place, right? You fish internationally, right?
Actually, we were thrown out to. When I say we, it was me and my camera guy. We were thrown out to Cabo San Lucas.
Okay, what'd you do out there?
They had us go out there to catch BallyHoop. And the company was called Blue Skies Cabo. So they flew us out there. We had a great time. They didn't quite go the way he wanted to because, they took me to the bay. And if you've ever been to Cabo San Lucas, it's set from 50 feet to 2,000 in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And there was one BallyHoop in the bay. One guy.
You found one?
And he's like, can you catch him? I said, come on, you serious? Where's the BallyHoop? I asked him, I asked him before when you guys use tongue, where's the bait? How does it work? And I guess they see it here in South Florida. We do it and it's so easy.
Yeah.
They figure, this can be done anyway. I told me this is not a magic wand. This is not something we just, we'll catch bait.
Right.
Bait's got to be there. It's got to be attracted to chum. They don't do that over there. Over there, they basically chunk or marlin, tuna, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I find out a couple of days later from the locals that, there is BallyHoop, but it's about an hour away from where I was. So then the gentleman who flew us out there, I guess he wasn't, 100% keen on that. But it was okay. It was all good. Left us some nets, and they used it. They went actually down to where they were supposed to be going, and they did catch BallyHoop.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he sent me some videos, some stuff. So it was a nice experience.
Yeah. Did you catch any marlin? Would you get on any fish over there?
Actually, we did. We caught one. But the funny part was one of the marlins, man. I was up on the second stage, and I was looking back at the lures, and something that it's amazing. This fish just comes up to the bait, looks at the bait, he taps it with his bill, and then looks up, gives me the finger, and just goes. He's like, "I'm not eating that." I was like, "I can't believe that fish just did that." He was lit up. He was blue, lit up. His dorsal was like on fire because he was ready to attack. But I guess they already know. They know the game, and they've been hooked one too many times. And he just looked up, and I was like, I'm not eating that, man.
Yeah, he knew.
And he knew, and he just took off.
Really?
That was hilarious. Yeah, and we also, on that trip, we caught a cobera. They don't bottom fish. They don't bottom fish with offers, right? Yeah, they're more like tuna fishing, and that's what all the customers want. Everybody wants to catch a marlin. That's what's big over there, tunas. So I took some jigs from here, some vertical jigs, and I took them over there. I said, I want to try these things over there and see how it goes. And I asked him, you guys have any setups I could use? I want a vertical jig. He's like, what is that? And I was like, no, it's this, you put it on them, jig them. So he hands me out the Penn Senator. I'm like, are you serious? This is what you get. We don't use spinners here. This is what we use because this is what we, all they do is troll all day, right? Basically. So here we are with a Penn Senator. You're vertical jigging with a Penn Senator. Yeah, 2,000, 3,000 feet of water just up and down. And all of a sudden, boom. When we brought that cobera into the boat, they couldn't believe it. They were like, what is that? What kind of fish is that? And I got pictures. I believe on the Instagram.
Yeah.
And they were all over the fish because they were like, wow, what is that? You know, we've never seen that, of course. They don't loop on that.
Obviously, like
It's not their thing. It's not their thing. Another curious thing that happened on that trip was the locals, they use a lot of gods. They fish with a lot of gods. So at night, they go out. Mind you, pitch dark, there's no lighting over there. So I go out with the locals, and it's a panga, maybe like 20-foot panga. And we're maybe a mile off the shore. And you can't see your hands in front of you.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I hear like, oh, you sneeze? Bless you. He's like, no, I didn't sneeze. I said, what was that noise? Oh, no, don't worry about that. Those are the whales. They just swimming around. I'm like, what? Whales? What? Brother, get out of here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they're fishing for their dogs at night. And what they do is when they get back in the morning, all the boats are waiting for them there. So they sell all the dogs on the boats. I see. So they do live bait, they do chunking, and that's what they pitch off to the marlins and variety tunes. So God bless.
You get any tuna?
What was that?
Did you get any tuna while you were over there?
No. We just one marlin. We went out one day. And there's a place there that I think is about an hour or two from there that's supposedly really good fishing for marlin.
Yeah.
I think it was Channel or something. I don't remember what it was called, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another stories.
My dreams to go down there, Mag Bay, and go fish all that and go check it out.
I want to go to Australia.
The Great Barrier Reef. We just talked. We just did a podcast with some of the guys from Australia from called the Top Water Film Invitational. They were talking to me. Said every 2 hours you go on the Great Barrier Reef, there's a new species that you can catch. Yeah, apparently it's wild.
Another place I want to do is Easter Island. Yeah, out of Chile. I have customers there.
Yeah,
and man, it is crazy.
They got the big tunas over there.
They have big tunas. They have the marlins. They got the big whoppers. Yeah, that's another fishery. Yes, that what's time? I want to introduce my net over there and see how it goes.
Hey, I mean everybody's catching that.
That's where this one comes in handy. If you could travel in the bag, you can put this in the bag.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on anytime like that. Fishing, I'm doing something.
I do it all the time. I put it into my bag. If I don't carry it, just carry on back. It's easy. Yeah, we get it. It'll be no issues.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, Junior, I appreciate you coming down. You're more welcome. Appreciate talking with me about the BallyHoop. I can't wait to put it to use. And dude, I'm going to get you some footage, I promise. And
and this is on camera. So
yeah, everybody's listening.
Everybody's listening.
Well, guys, you guys got to check out the BallyHoop. If you're catching bait, you don't have one of these, you're doing something wrong. All right, y'all. See you later.
Thanks for joining us on the Science of Fishing. We hope that this episode was helpful and you learned something for the next time you're wetting a line. Before we cast off, a special thanks to our sponsors, Bloody Battery, Sea Mule, and Black Reef Company. Stay hooked by following us on social media at Science of Fishing and hitting the subscribe button. And if you know someone who'd enjoy this, please share it with them. Until we meet again, catch 'em up.